but they have a massive manpower pool to work with. Ottomans immediately follow about 87,000, and then it's all the way down. It's elephants all the way down as Austria with 85,000. Quickly now check here at Poland what their actual army size is. It's actually quite small. They have 166,000 available troops. Their maximum manpower is 187, but they can only level 79. As you can see, look at this pretty new production interface. More tabs, so you can build easier. Missionaries you can send around. Basically, changing culture, harsh treatment, building interface, naval units. Basically allow you to build stuff quicker, and no longer you have to go into all of these menus to do it manually. So, which is pretty good. Is it elephants down or turtles all the way down? Because I was under the impression that the elephants were holding up the world, and then I may be misquoting that. Not entirely sure now. May have been turtles all the way down. But yeah, somebody in the chat's already mentioning that Russia should probably work together with the Mughals, which is definitely a possibility here, because they don't want to go bad. They don't want to go head to head really, because there's a lot of territory to, well, a lot of territory to split up here in the east, to say the least. And that rhymes. Hooray. So, what you're watching right now is the Wealth of Nations. This is in beta currently. We are currently not sure when it's going to come out, what is going to be in the expansion, what is going to be in the patch. So you have to keep your eye on that. This is all brand new. This is all beta. Some of it may make it to the final release. Some of it may not. What you see here is just a snapshot of what we do, and we have our patch notes and all that. And we have about 9 minutes of gameplay remaining. It is the 1st of January, 1622. The world is a better place. Well, for some, at least. As all of these nations are running high in technology. Russia is actually quite advanced, relatively. Grugi's at war with Provence. As at the beginning of the session, we saw 2 major wars. One war attacking the HRE with all their might on 3 fronts, whereas the second war, the Austrians, as well as the remaining HRE armies, going against the Swedes, as well as the Danes, in order to fight back. And it looks like Scotland has given back the territories here to Denmark, and they won't be taking creating Great Britain today. Can you look at the Dutch-French War? All right. So right now the Dutch are still at war with the French. It's the War for Picardy, which is over there, because it's right now it's already being taken. I've been there a couple times actually, and they're pretty busy right now trying to reform Calais. So Picardy is so far they've taken all this territory. The French can do absolutely nothing. Right now we're just waiting. The Aragonians are pretty much just waiting for the Dutch to take over this territory, and then so our Aragon can move into the remaining territories of the Provence and take over that. But France, starting out this session as the proud blob of Le Bleu, is now but a ghost, a shadow of its former self. And I should really stop being so dramatic every once in a while, because, you know, it's sometimes not all that effective from an entertainment point of view, but, you know. As France has pretty much given up. -3 stab. -99 prestige. 0 legitimacy. He's pretty much gone. He's actually... he's still in the game, okay, so he's probably just running everything in the background while doing some work. And yes, Cap Zero, it is pretty much safe to say that France will not win this time. The Dutch just got a bunch of territory, and if I'm not mistaken, this will mean that they will immediately give access military access to Siena and Austria. They need to give probably need to give military access towards Aragon as well, so they can. Actually, that's not going to help them all that much, because in Aragon we need to have military access through both Austria as well as the Netherlands. And quickly moving over towards Aragon, what they actually have military access-wise. They have Austria, so they just need the Dutch, really, so they can move through here and take over that final territory. Mr. Nibbles of the Mughals. Taking over the last vestments of Crimea. And this is turning out to be a massive empire. Like if they, if Russia and the Mughals join, that's pretty much Khan territory of size territory, really. So already some discussion in the chat where France should move. Well, where can France move? Well, the Confederate States of Free Tuscany are already taken. He'll be back next week. The Aztec are still available. That's an interesting choice. Aztec right now are despotic monarchy. They're pretty much the classic Mesoamerican tribe. There's not much you can do with them. The Shawnee are being taken over by the Blackfoot. England has put root in many places. Well, yeah, this is pretty much England right now. As Portugal is actually starting to become really powerful. Let's take a look here at Portuguese. They've got what's their income like? They get 91 per turn. They've got fairly high maintenance usage. And the Dutch are like, "Yo, what's going on there, Normandy? I'll have nom this as well. That'll be cool." There we go. So the troops of Aragon just lost, apparently, versus the Provence. As Tuscany and Siena are moving in to take that. But yeah, our powers in the world have shaped up. We've played for almost 200 years. It is now 1623. What happened in 1623? Wikipedia, talk to me. 1623. What happened in that year? France, Savoy, and Venice signed the Treaty of Paris. I'm afraid that's not going to happen this time around. The 30-Year War. The Duke Maximilian I of Bavaria becomes Elector of the Palatinate. What a delightful time. A fleet of 11 Dutch ships depart the coast of Peru, seeking to seize Spanish treasure. Yes, Peru. The Safavids recapture Baghdad. England first colonizes St. Kitts and Nevis. Murat IV succeeds Mustafa I of the Ottoman Empire. Fire of the Plymouth Colony. Wow, that's strangely accurate. The Plymouth Colony fire. Yeah. Krugi, once again, like I said before, still at war. Wissington at war with Savoy. Is this Savoyville still? Yes. And right now, it's these armies pretty much trying to put their stuff together and trying to consolidate their assets. All the central nations in the HRE have been consolidated between Bohemia, Brandenburg, the Hansa, Austria, the Netherlands, and Aragon. Bavaria and Brittany. Yes, it would be. It looks like it is the case that Bavaria is in fact in Brittany, and it looks like Bavaria. Yeah, the Spanish just won the war versus the Britons, and Bavaria is trying to take over this final territory. The HRE expands into France. Historically, one of the most populous areas in Europe. It's where most of the population came from. That's why the big blue blob was so dangerous. Mufasa, the first of the Ottomans. Yes, Simba. Mustafa, of course. So the HRE, just for our track record, are all these countries here in green. Bohemia, the Hansa, Aragon. Actually, what am I being so stupid? All of these. So that is Poland, Bavaria, Bohemia, Brandenburg, Austria, Aragon, and the Hansa. Plus all of these princes. 26 princes actually. They want to keep the amount of princes to a certain level, just so they can keep the HRE intact. So they're not going to be annexing all of these guys over here. Sadly enough for them. HRE aspiring Carolingian borders. Somebody in chat mentions that it's like CK2 style HRE. Well, I'm afraid it's significantly bigger than that. As Provence asks for military access. Wow. Provence is actually quite big and is going to get crushed soon. Although this is actually quite a great general. It's a 5-2-3. And I would not be surprised if Aragon's going to lose this battle. So because, they're attacking across the river. Their leader is pretty decent, but not good enough. Because they're losing morale like crazy. And Provence is actually going to win this. This is actually kind of awkward. Yeah, I believe we've come to the end of the session. But yeah. A freeze frame in time. And 5 seconds until somebody can unpause. Are we going to leave it at that? It looks like this is going to be the end date. It looks like this is going to be the end date of today. Where Grugi was on the verge of losing this fight versus the Provence, the AI Provence. Yeah, that's very unfortunate. The AI has been boosted recently. As territory-wise, what could he have done, really? Plains. Yeah, in honesty, like somebody said in the chat, he could have just sieged down Maine or Orléans and force Provence to go across the river to engage them and get that river disadvantage. But let's go over the world as the game has come to an end. As in all honesty, it's been quite a great game. Russia has grown. Mughals has grown. Ottomans has grown. The Crimea River is no longer in existence. It's more like the Crimea, islands, I guess. Ottomans are, oh my god, Ottoman Empire's huge. Getting all of this territory up here. Poland has become strong with almost 198,000 manpower in the pool. Sweden has been jumped down significantly. The Netherlands has grown. France is no longer a powerful nation in the world. Austria has grown. Aragon is putting their tentacles into the remaining vassals of France, or at least the former vassals of France. In all of this, they're paying the iron price. And somebody says in chat, MVP for the session, AI Provence! Agreed. AI Provence is quite good. And once again, let's wrap this up with this session. Specifically, what has been added. Once again, the fanaticism system has now, for the reform, has been renamed to the fervor system, as mentioned before. 15 new privateer events have been added. 7 mercantilism events have been added. CTD would occur if anybody got more than 100 messages in the chat log. Yeah, we encountered that a couple times and it got annoying. Courland has been added to the game. Climate triggers, winter triggers, inland trade nodes, main trade, sea trade nodes. Trade ports have been added, enforcing a union to end via war. The lesser partner will now get a new ruler. Holding down shift while clicking direction arrows for subsidies will now set the min and max. And yeah, that is pretty much the gist of it. A bunch of policies have been tweaked. Ragusa is now a merchant republic. AI, tons of AI stuff has been added. So before we go here today, let's go and have a quick look at our map of the world. What has changed? What is different? Well, what has changed is this is our world here in 1624. Write it down in your into your agendas for next week at 3:30 local time here in Stockholm. We're going to go and continue, and we will see whether or not this fight here in the Provence is going to be won by Gurugi or Provence or not. Let's take a quick look at the ledger. Currently, the biggest armies in the world, as said before, the Mughals, 140,000, Russia with 133,000, the Ottomans followed with 102,000, Poland with 90,000, but they can, it's difficult to see whether or not they're going to be able to sustain it or not. Country-wise, income, the highest is the Mamelukes with 146 ducats a month, immediately followed by the Mughals, the Hanseatic League with 146, and then it's all the way down. When we look at score, right now Ottomans in the lead with 2,300 points, Mughals with 1,800, and they're actually firmly chasing down the Ottomans right now. So I would not be surprised if the Mughals are going to win this series and win themselves that prize for this game. So we shall have to see. The new policy system that we talked about is here. Of course, it's new. We're going to talk about that more in a Dev Diary. And of course, the new production interface. As you can see here, it's not done yet, but it's cool. It's something we're working on, and it's pretty smashing. So I think it's time that we wrap it up here in the studio in Sweden, in Stockholm. Hello again, my name is Matt. I'm one of the producers here at Paradox Interactive, and it's time for us to venture down to the bar to go for a drink and lament today's today's shenanigans, really, because massive wars have been seen, religion reforms have been seen, and some big winners and some big losers. French are no longer in the game. Crimea are but a shadow of them for ourselves. But be sure to tune in next week at the same time, as I mentioned before, 3:30. Be sure to follow the channel and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, because it helps us a bunch so we can get more followers and, more viewers is always good. So, until next time, do take good care of yourself and, each other.